minute clip onto my website this afternoon or this evening. And it'll be under my news section, so watch for that because it'll be a message from the Mamos, from these sacred people. And that will be placed on there. But the message is also, that's critical is unity and coming together and working in any way that you can within your community and within your networks in order to get these messages from all different areas of your knowledge, whether it is from the whistleblowers that are at Project Camelot or the spiritual people in your life and the yogi that you go to visit, to really get those messages out, because the next stage of what we're moving into is going to be possibly turmoil as a result of the breaking down further of the financial system. The food supply is getting increasingly more difficult. We get a lot of supplies from Chile in our winter months. We need to be aware of that. If a disaster strikes California, that's going to be a major blow to all of North and South America. We need to respect that and be aware of that. And because I have had major visions of earthquakes in California, and just yesterday and the day before, I was banging into walls. So there is another earthquake coming. It will be fairly close to here, so it could possibly be California or Mexico region in the next week or week and a half at the very, very furthest point. And I am returning to Colombia because I need to continue a conversation that I started with these Kogi Mamos. And I have asked them, I directly asked many of these Mamos if they were wanting to come forward to the world and speak to us, and they said yes. And I am going to continue, I'm going to go back and continue that conversation to try and facilitate that for them in whatever way they ask of me. And I am working with some other tribes which will remain, nameless at this point. Of course, everyone knows I work with the Hopi, and I'm always asking them to come forward. And that is getting very close as well. I believe that they are ready to start to speak to the world. I believe that. And so I hope that everyone at Project Camelot will just send a blessing out this way for them to do that for all of us. And so continue doing exactly what you're doing. And in saying this, Kerry, I want to share something because I know we only have a minute left. Project Camelot people have assisted everything that you and Bill have done, and I applaud you always for all of the work that the two of you have done and created for all of us, and I thank you for that. But I want to send a special thank you to all of the Project Camelot people, because they truly are out there doing the work, and they are listening to, quote, the instructions that are being given to them by all of the whistleblowers that you have on your site and by yourselves, and taking that direction. And certainly they have helped me to facilitate the work that I'm doing, because without that, that would not be possible at all. And so I just want to say a very special thank you to them, because these tribes are coming forward. Another sacred tribe from Peru that I've had contact with, the Incas, are also wanting to come forward and speak to the world to a certain degree with the other tribes. So they are beginning to come together, and that is what my work is doing, and I will be able to make that happen. I know that I will, if I'm able to continue traveling and putting the steps in place for it to happen. So thank you, and let's just keep doing exactly what we're doing, Kerry.
Well, thank you so much, Miriam. I do want to say that a lot of people don't understand what it is you do, and we sometimes get emails to that effect. And so I do want to say here that Miriam's work is a work on raising global consciousness. And in a sense, that's also Camelot's mission. So you have to understand, or people should understand, that this sort of work is not the sort of work that you can go down and get paid for. So that is why we ask for donations. Occasionally you'll see me ask for donations for Miriam specifically. And this is because the mission that we do is pretty much 24/7. My friendship with Miriam goes beyond our work, but I have to say that I am aware that she's a workaholic, basically. She's always working. She's always figuring out new ways to move this mission along. The idea is to raise the global consciousness, to move into the fourth dimension, to help the earth, to cleanse the earth, and to make this earth a better place for everyone and for the people that remain behind and so on. So this is a very sophisticated kind of a mission. It isn't, you can't see it in the nuts and bolts around you in society, but I encourage you to support what Miriam does. She did take her own inheritance. I'm going to say this much. I think you probably want to shoot me, though. She did take some of her own inheritance, and it was very small to begin with, but she basically donated all her money towards this work she does. That's just the kind of dedication we're talking about. I have to say for myself, I did the same thing. And so, we're not just kind of talking off the top of our heads here. This is very real. This is very nuts and bolts in the way we have to conduct our lives. So, Miriam, we do have a couple minutes. Is there any last, words that you'd like to say?
Yes, thank you. I'm going to say that the work that I'm doing is the facilitation of the energy of the earth. And through these indigenous tribes, that every single person out there that is involved in spiritual or even ancient knowledge, for example, is interested in, is what it is that I'm working on being able to bring forward. And not forward in a book for people to buy, but I'm working on being able to bring it forward, to make it free to everyone, so that everyone has access to that information in a centralized place. And that is the goal of the work that I'm doing. And that I know that, for example, when I was in Africa with the Sand People, that they themselves are really becoming stronger collectively in coming together as a result of the energy that was put forth by certain people, and one of them being myself. And so they're finding their own unity and strength in coming forward to their own government and saying, this is what we're asking for, respect for ourselves and our land. And the Kogi and the other three tribes in the Sierra are also doing the exact same thing at this particular moment. I also know that and I'm going to say this, that the Hopi are currently, and have been for some time now, more unified than they ever have been before, the traditional leaders. And I look very much forward to them sharing with all of you a new website directly from, and I say this, directly from the traditional leaders of Hopi. And you can look forward to seeing that in the very near future. And when that happens, I will be sharing that with Kerry so that she can put a little note on the Project Camelot website. So that's coming up very, very, very quickly here. And that's the kind of work that I facilitate, and I'm honored to be a part of the Project Camelot crew. I am, just like everyone else, part of the ground crew. And let's just keep doing what we're doing, taking direction, being respectful to one another, and making sure that we're doing things in a peaceful way. And let's focus on that peaceful part, because I want to make sure that we're able to continue doing our work. So thank you, and blessings to everyone. Look forward to sharing more.
Thank you, Miriam. That was a great tag for the end of our session here. And hopefully we can have you back when you can report some more of the things that you are in the process of and involved in. I know that there's elements that you still can't talk about, and because everything is in process as we go. But I do want to also say that people can help with their own good intentions towards the future. And we would like you to continue to meditate and to bring positive energy to the earth and to the various missions that people are on, and find your own way. Also find your way of contributing to turning this whole thing around, because that's exactly what we need. And the indigenous people and the connection with them is a very crucial area, and that is why we we bring Miriam on fairly often because the great